That's what I get for too much clapping. All right, y'all. this is this is the part 2. I literally found out that I was clapping. Maybe it was or I had muted the sound, so we're back. All right, operational systems. How are you going to process orders and serve your customers without you burning out and without burning them out? Like I said, I'm so tired of going to restaurants that have amazing food that I have to beg for. Like, please, can I get a napkin? Can I get this? Can I get that? Or you've got, you know, a room of 100 customers and 3 people working, whatever that is, right? I need you to have your operational systems together. Okay. This is where most new entrepreneurs drop the ball. I believe it's tied into that whole idea of I can do everything. You know, it goes along with, they say that people who are frequently late tend to be optimists. People who start businesses tend to be optimists because they're like, oh, everything's going to go my way. Of course, there won't be traffic. Of course, there's not going to be this. Of course, it's not going to be that. Oh, we don't need that many people. All we have to do is just be 12 places at once. We've got this. All right. So, this is the invisible backbone of your business, the thing that if you're doing this really well, no one ever thinks about. That's the sign of great operational systems is that no one ever thinks about that. So they include how people pay you, how you deliver the product or service. It should be so smooth they don't have to think about it. How do you handle onboarding? When you hire someone, are you going to have to teach them the same things 50,000 times? How do you handle support, refunds, logistics? What tools or technology do you use to keep everything flowing? One thing I like to do is send my clients, like, if there's some new tech that's easy peasy and breezy, I'm going to send it to you. For 30 to Eden participants, you're going to get my list of my new hacks to save money and to save, not just to save money, I'm sorry, to save time and money. Whether it's your time or your team's time, everyone needs to save time because it equals money. So even if right now you're a solopreneur and you won't be a solopreneur for long, and we'll talk about that later, you'll need systems that can run without you doing every single step manually. And y'all, and I'm luckily I have clients that I've worked with that literally will have like entire teams of people, right? Like 15 people selling roofs for them or whatever. And I'm like, all right, so how do you take orders? And they just pull out a little piece of paper. It's like, I'm right here. Friend, you cannot scale. If you can write down all of your orders on a pen and pad, you are not scaling. You are not scaling. Because I know you're not writing out 150 leads on a pen and pad yourself. Okay. So here's something I want you to think about. If 10 new clients paid you today, now we'll say this, if 100 new clients were to pay you today, would you be able to deliver the service with excellence and with ease? Maybe it's hiring people. If not, what part of your process needs to be simplified or automated? Okay. So here's the final system, y'all. We're here. We've made it. Okay. I'm going to put a lot of emphasis on this. Your final system is your recruiting system. Been there, done that, right? This is a mistake I've made and fixed. One of the biggest reasons entrepreneurs get stuck and burnt out is simple. You wait too long to get help. You wait way too long to get help. Or I'm going to say this, and this is not, what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? This isn't a pretty way to say this, but if you work with me, I'm just not known for that. So this will give you a taste of that. Stop. You cannot run your business like a slave, some sort of slave ship where it's just like one or two people doing 100 different things. I was reading this book and they say that in this book that procrastination is actually a form of intelligence because you either procrastinate on the things that you don't do well or you don't have the capacity to do at that time. So if you're procrastinating about something, it's likely that you need help. If you're procrastinating about something, it's likely something that either one, you don't do very well, or that you're already too busy to do. So what do? You put it on the back burner. Oh, I'll get to that later because part of you knows you're not going to be able to execute on it. Part number 2, difference between being an entrepreneur and self-employed. If you're self-employed, you make money, but you do everything. You're like, it's like it's like having a contractor that swears they know how to do each and everything. If you ask them, they can do plumbing, they can do electrical, they can do drywall, they can do carpeting, they can redo your floors, they can fix your foundation, they can do your siding, they can do everything. Let me tell you how raggedy that house is going to be. An entrepreneur is someone who creates opportunities that benefit others, meaning you benefit your customers, you benefit clients, you benefit your community, and that includes providing employment across multiple arenas. And the goal is for you to do the things that you do best. That's why I love speaking with clients all day. If it's not about speaking with clients, training, teaching, something like that, I don't want to do it. I just don't. So I let, Roseanne do this portion. I got, marketing over here. Then I don't want to do it. All right. I've never seen anyone scale as a one person show. Barely 2, barely 3. You might be able to get away with 3 and a lot of AI and a lot of automation, right? And here's a problem. Most people don't realize they've hit the ceiling with it just being them and they're like small team. And sometimes, sometimes you're just there and that's okay. And you're going to grow to the next portion. But I'm not talking about that person who's waiting until you're at that moment and the business isn't quite there yet and you don't need it because you only have one client, whatever, right? I'm talking about the person who's being Uncle Scrooge. You don't want to spend $1. You don't want to spend $1. And that's why every time you spend $1, you only get 50 cents back. Rome wasn't built in a day, but it also wasn't built by one person. It wasn't. Okay, so here's the excuses, all the excuses that I hear about this, okay? Number 1, I can't trust anyone to do it right. It's not that you can't trust people. You may not yet trust in your own judgment to choose the right people, but that's a skill you can develop, right? You can learn how to, discern character, skills assessments, training assessments. And guess what? Every entrepreneur has to fire someone. The sooner, the better. I believe in hiring slowly and firing quickly. If someone needs training, either create it or send them somewhere to get training. If you can't do it, find someone else to do it. If you need sales training, you know who to call. Number 2, I can't afford to hire anyone. Life isn't about having all the resources or perfect resources. It is about being resourceful. So here's what I've seen and some of the things that I've done. I've hired virtual assistants from all around the world. I've had commission-based service providers and employees. I've seen people hire interns and part-timers. I have a client who makes products that found a retiree because they had an issue with getting their products made, and they found a retiree who was bored and they just wanted something to do. So they make their products for free. Just a retiree that's a busybody that wants to be a part of something, wants to stay active, wants to do this. They don't need the money, but they do it anyway. I've seen hiring contractors, freelancers, bartering, all of these different things for maybe your one-off task. But the key isn't how much you can afford, it's how committed you are to stopping doing everything for yourself. And don't worry, you'll get there. You'll get to the place where you have Rome, where you've got soldiers and everything else underneath you. But you need to start somewhere. And I'll say this too, you know, it's I'd rather spend the money to free up an hour or 2 of my time because I know what I can do in an hour or 2. And so you wanna do whatever you can do to get out of working in your business and focusing on working on your business. So, 1, make the decision that you need help. You need help. So what are 2 or 3 tasks that you do weekly that someone else could handle? What are you doing in your business that prevents you from working on your business? Write them down and prioritize today moving these roles off your plate. You cannot scale if you're too busy to lead. I'm going to say this, and this is off of my notes, but I really feel like it's important for this group to understand. A big part of the reason why I see entrepreneurs don't get help is because they don't truly understand the value that they bring to the table. Like, you really don't understand how much value you bring to your business and how much more your time is worth than just another email, another this, another that. No, just like put down the stapler. And I'm not saying to get like highfalutin where you're never willing to roll up your sleeves. I believe everyone needs to, stay at it, right? But if you truly valued your time and what you really bring as the visionary of the business, then you would free up your time from doing all these other things. And guess what? Your team, your future team, they're going to need you to do that as well. So that's just my little 2 cents. So here's a time to reflect. And I believe in journaling, so I would journal this. What roles are you currently feeling that's draining your time and energy? And let me tell you, those feel good. But what are they? What's one role that you can delegate this month? Some of you guys have something that you can delegate tomorrow, meaning you can get on Fiverr and have that done tomorrow, tonight. Third question. Who in your network or your extended network could help volunteer or train for that task? I recently reached out to a friend about a part-time in-person assistant. And within minutes, I received a resume and an introduction and some that, wasn't from her, from just online. I put it on social media. So who's there? A big part is just trying. Okay. So here's a basic overview of how to start your business off right. Answering those questions. Why do you want to start it in the first place? What are your intentions? Hopefully, it's not to prove a point. What problem do you want to solve? Or what problems do you want to solve? Why are you the best person to solve that problem? Remember, you're marrying this thing. So you better be willing to look at that thing every single day. What are going to be your sales systems? What are going to be your marketing systems? What are going to be your operational systems? What about your recruiting systems? And those are only 4 systems. We didn't even get into like legal, we didn't get into financial, we didn't get into any of these other ones, right? I'm just talking about the basic systems that you need to have in place so you can build on that firm foundation. Because remember, if you want to go high, you've got to go strong and deep. So you got to have all of this stuff done. And lastly, and I didn't mention this portion, but what are you going to have the courage to build? Because once you've decided what you really want to build, are you going to have the courage to build it and follow through with it, even when it's in seed form, even when you look crazy to everyone else, specifically your family? So I want you guys to send me emails, write me notes, comment, in the course, comment in the group about what it is that you've learned from there, any questions you may have, any aha moments. But this is just your basic key to starting your business off right. And so if you've gotten this far and you're like, okay, I love it, I just need more, sign up for the next cohort. We have a new cohort, 30 to Eden. It starts on April the 21st. And it's a 30-day business cohort. You'll develop the mindset you need to set powerful, courageous goals. We'll help you build out your sales systems, your marketing systems, your operational systems. I've brought in industry professionals. They're going to help audit your SEO. I'm talking real SEO. I'm talking site pages, backlinks, everything. We're going to analyze your competition. Boom, 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 boom. I have someone coming in to audit your branding, to make sure you're speaking to your audience and you have the right voice, the right tone, to audit your websites. We're going to audit your ads. Some of you guys don't have any ads and you need to have ads or professional ads. And the clients I've had participate in the past, they saw 25 to 40% revenue growth, within the first 30 days. Some have already quadrupled or more their revenue by then. I have every reason to believe that many of them are going to have their first $1 million years this year. And so that's also another one of my goals that I set, was that I want to help 100 entrepreneurs either make their first million or 4x whatever their results are this year. So this isn't just some theory. This is a system that works. And like I said before, some of you guys, you may not be my $100,000 client yet, but my goal is, by the time you're done and by the time we're done, maybe sometime next year or within the next 5 years, you will be a 6-figure client of mine. And so join 30 to Eden. We're going to give you the strategy. We're going to give you the accountability and the execution. And yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to see you guys there. 30 days. We're going to unlock your freedom factory. What's a freedom factory, Yannick? It's something that I associate with, that I'm teaching you guys now, just like Edenomics. All right. I have the freedom factory. A freedom factory is going from, running the business that works you to death, also known as the slave ship, to running the business where you get some more freedom of your time back, because you put forth the energy, you put your systems in place, you've scaled, you've set big goals, you ran after them. That gives you that time back, the time spent with your family, that gives you the money, that gives you whatever it is that you desire and whatever you consider to be freedom, building that thing so that's what you can get. Because most people think they're starting their business for money. They're not. What you're really starting it for is for freedom. Maybe it's freedom for your kids. Maybe it's a legacy type of thing. Whatever it is, sign up and we're going to work really hard very quickly for 30 days. But this 30 days is going to put you ahead by months and years. Some of you guys are going to accomplish more in 30 days than what you have in the past 3 to 5 years. So I will see you guys there. Thank you so much for staying, with me. And yeah, this is how you build your